We'll call to order Casson Park Board, Tuesday, February 15th, 2022. And did everybody have a chance to go over December 2021 minutes?
Yeah. On D, where 2022 Casson Aquatic Center proposals is, it says documentation attached. Was something sent?
Oh,
You are right.
And I didn't get...
you weren't there. I should have sent you one.
Yep, and I wasn't there either. I was gonna ask you
Okay.
for that today, Ronnie.
All the documentation?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll get
I
that.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay,
Thanks.
perfect.
What you're talking about is this?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
We can get that sent to you.
That's cool. Good, thanks. Yep.
Okay?
Perfect. All right.
Not that I know what's happening, it's just
It's good to have
fun to
it.
have.
Okay.
All right, so do I have a motion to approve December 2021 minutes?
I'll make that motion.
All right, second?
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, December 2021 minutes approved. Down to the new business, oath of office for Frankie and Kugel.
Well, Roger, first of all, Greg called me and, he, had he had a medical family emergency, whatever. He thought he may be able to get here, but he didn't really know, so he just, made sure to let us know that on that part of it. And then, Roger, called and talked to Jan today, and Jan can kinda tell you.
He's had medical issues, and
Uh,
as much as he wants to stay on, he said, I really physically can't do it right now.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
he said maybe in a year or two, if everything settles out and there's an opening, he said, I would love to come back, but he said, I just physically can't do it right now, so.
Yeah, yeah.
If anybody knows anybody who would want to serve, he's going to go off for the time being.
That sounds good. Well, if he was here, we would definitely thank him for
I know.
his time
Mm-hmm.
and his opinions but yeah,
Been long.
that's a tough road for him.
Well, he's been,
Long before.
yeah, he's
It's
probably
been
been,
6 years?
yeah, maybe 6 or maybe, going something like that, or 8 or whatever.
I think so, yeah, definitely. But yeah, all right. Well, I do have somebody in mind, so I'll reach out to them.
Yeah, there's an application form if they're interested.
Okay, all right, sounds good. All right, down to the Boulevard Tree Planting Program.
Okay. I guess, first of all, you're here to address the park board, were you?
Yes,
Yeah.
I am sorry, yes.
Okay, yeah, go.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you know Sandens, by the way? Do you know Travis Sandin?
Yep, I did,
Okay,
yep.
all right, I know you then. You're hungry.
Yep,
Yeah,
Wait,
you probably don't recognize me, but
Can we get your name?
Cody Mayer. Cody with a K.
Okay.
Cody Mayer.
okay.
Oh, okay.
I was just kinda had an inquiry about the skate park down there. I was wondering if there's any way we can get some bigger ramps down there. I live here, I own a house, as you know. Adam Hansen used to live next door, he had the half pipe.
Yep.
You know.
Yep,
And the reason I ask is 'cause it's just, I mean, I appreciate seeing it there, but until I went down there one day on my bike with my daughter, I rode for a half an hour. I seen kids coming out of the woodworks from everywhere, you know? But I'm 33 and I can ride everything there backwards. I mean, I can clear the,
Yep.
it's just not, it's not that great.
and you know why, Cody? I'll give you a really good reason why that we can't have anything higher. Because if we had anything higher, it would have to be fenced and supervised. Anything over 3 foot, as far as any ramp, on legalities, through the League of Minnesota Cities, our insurance trust, we have to have it fenced, supervised, lit, and pay someone to be there.
You have to have like a certain amount of population growth to get, because how does Rochester, and I understand Rochester's 100,000, we're 6,000.
Right.
You know, but why do they get the bigger ramps, cement slabs, I mean, box jumps?
Yeah, they pay for it, and then they take more out for your insurance part of it and
Okay.
stuff, and that's basically what it was. When we put that in there, we had a group that came into into the park board when we did that, and we used to have it, remember, up at the ice arena, remember, and that stuff, and then that got converted. You maybe not remember that, but
I don't remember it up there, no.
then the pad got converted to the outdoor ice rink. But that was the first original thing. I bought all the stuff from, I can't remember, it's from a company out of Missouri. And, when we discussed it as a park board, and some of these members weren't even on, you know, we discussed it that whatever, we had two options. And the skateboard company knew our two options. It was either go with a higher type of facility or stay with that legality of the 3-foot or 4-foot issue. I think it's 3 or 4 foot, whatever. And the park board at that time, along with the council, whatever, decided that, hey, you know, we didn't want to go into any of the part of having to hire another supervisor, not having it lit, not having fencing around it. Then when you add that, the League of Minnesota Cities also said that we had to have the proper safety equipment, like the helmets and all that other stuff that would be required. And so they decided at that time that the league, they actually sent forms into the league, and the league responded back, that's our insurance company from the city, and said, you can get by with not having any of that if you stay under a certain height for height dimensions on the ramps. So then we contacted that company from Missouri, told them that, hey, this is what we need. You design the thing for us, you give us the pieces, we have so much money to pay for it, and the group actually gave money towards it. They raised money.
Y'all ain't cheap.
Yeah, it's not cheap. No, I think we spent, at that time, we spent $65,000 on the cement pad, and then we spent another 35 or 40 on the equipment itself. We had close to $100,000 into it at the arena.
Oh, wow.
So then all of a sudden, they decided they wanted an outdoor rink, and we wanted to move the pad down here at the Lions Park. So then we had that done, and we had a city engineer design the same pad, the 6-inch thick pad, same size, dimension, everything. And that ended up being close to $100,000 by the time we got done putting the cement pad in itself. So, and then we just moved the equipment and put it in. So that's basically how the whole story went and why the city has the dimensions or the height of the facility.
And it's just such a large cement slab, and I just see so many spots that could have another quarter pipe. And I'm not saying that it has to be, I would like it 10 feet tall, you know, but I understand.
Right.
You know, because I dealt with you guys when we did the dirt jumps.
Yes.
And we had to wash cars to get the dirt.
Yep.
So we had to, us kids had to buy the dirt, you know, and then I was looking the other night, and it said it was removed because of destruction of property. I'm like, there was nothing there to destroy but the dirt, and the dirt was washed away, and nobody would fix it. That's why they were happy to see it gone. You know, so it kind of you know, agitated me. I moved from Storable. I played all the sports. You know, when I came to Casson, I wanted to play hockey. $400 a week, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. Not doing that. You know, in football, that's your life.
Right.
Let's get concussed and then never go to get a degree, or, you know, go to a Pro Bowl. Who's doing that around here, you know? So it's like, I want an alternative. And there was, you've seen it, all of us, we all wanted an alternative. We didn't want to be destroying shit and pissing people off and knocking, chipping, you know, cement up, but we had nothing. We go down to some woods, get kicked out of there, the cops would come down. It's just like, you know, you feel cornered and like, get out of here. You're just, you know, it's like, man, there's guys at the Olympics making their whole life career off of extreme sports. You know, so it's like, it's awesome the skate parks there. It's just like, I wish there was a little bit more to fill all these voids, because all these, I'm not kidding, the kids from all directions, it was pretty cool, you know, but.
Yeah, it was called I think it's called the American Ramp Company out of Missouri, Joplin, Missouri. I'm just trying to think of the company name here and that stuff.
K-Wave?
Yeah, something. And they contact me every year, and they ask me how the facility is doing. You know, is there still people playing or, you know, skating, doing stuff? And I said, yeah. I said, I've noticed that there's been quite a bit, you know, and I hear people on the weekends. You know, there's a lot of kids out there doing that stuff. So we don't ever want to, you know, eliminate it, but as far as my situation is that, you know, if we wanted to change the course, if we wanted to buy different types of apparatuses for you guys, like, you know, like the piping or whatever and that stuff, you know, it might be best if you guys come up with maybe some ideas of what you guys would be looking at and then present it back here to the park board, and then we could maybe even get some pricing on it and see exactly
Yeah.
what some changes we could do. And then if you guys would even consider maybe even having, and maybe even some donation somewhere somehow, doing whatever.
That's what I was thinking, for like the walls that we helped chip the cement off.
Yep.
I threw in that bike, so that's like, I remember going up with my bike and,
Yep.
you know, so I threw money in those boxes, go to Napa, throw money in there, you know.
So that's what I would probably say as being the park, rec guy, I mean, it always helps when the original group came in to do that facility.
Mhm.
I mean, I think they bought in almost $5,000, $6,000, if I can recall right, for donations that they went out and raised themselves and stuff. And that's always a plus to us, and it's always a plus to the council. Because then that just goes to show that the community is really, really, really wants to do that,
Yep.
Just like the basketball court there and the pickleball court. We got help from another group to pay for that, because they
Oh.
wanted to see that. Like the basketball court, that's someone's son passed away, and he wanted to see something, and he went to different places and got money and bought it to the city, and
Wow.
yeah, and that's kind of helps,
That's a cool story.
Yeah.
Need a
So-
plaque out there for that or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Because people are like,
We're getting one.
"What's over
There's
the new
gonna be
basketball
one.
court,"
Yep,
you know?
yep, there will be one. It'll be a Braxton Raymond Memorial Court.
That's awesome.
So that's kind of what I can say. I mean, does any of the other members have any other ideas? I mean, Chris?
I just, if I can interject, I
Sure.
think what you had said and kind of the idea is you're not necessarily looking for the bowls and the 10-foot ramps, as
Yeah.
nice as it would be, but maybe additional elements to that. So just from my end, sitting up here, if you came back and said, based on the layout and talking with other people that enjoy these sports, here's a couple additional elements that could be added, get an idea on cost, and then it's a broader discussion for the park board and the city council to have about making an additional investment. I can tell you personally, I've been there with my kids, I don't do what you do, but I've been there.
Understandable.
But I do go by it frequently because I live near there, and it is, the use, and since the basketball court, I mean, there are people there all the time using it. So I know it's an amenity that's important to this community.
Yeah, and this is kind of backflip what you said. It's nice that now I have an insight of where you got the equipment, because I was scrolling and looking for places that are selling, and I wanted to kind of see how much the prices were, because I already have a vision of how, like, the gap should be filled in. There's only one little mini ramp here. Down at Silver Lake, we always had a double mini, we always had one right next to it. So you had a little more distance, and it's safer that way too, because now you have this big spread of a ramp. Instead of doing a 360, you don't have enough room, and then you go off the edge and crash your head open,
Right.
And there was somebody made a little soapbox, grind box, wood box, it's not supposed to be down there, but it's nice. The scooter kids hit it up, I bring my scooter down there too, I'll grind it, and the kids jump on it. It was all wavy, so we loaded up my truck and took it back home, put some 2x4 runners on it, and, made it solid, brought a broom down, because there's rocks everywhere, I brought my leaf blower, made sure all the crap is picked up, so I'm all about doing some footwork, because I'm the one coming in here, so I expected, like, you gotta have an idea, what is the vision here? Where's the source of the money? Who cares? Am I the only one that, cares? So, yeah, I could probably get a printout. If you wanna write down, if you can think of, in Joplin there, the company, or at least where I could look, and I can get their ramps. And I think the dimensions I think you're right, I think it was always 3 feet, because the dirt ramps, the dirt jumps, you guys always said 3 feet, and then maybe our destruction of property thing was we'd make them 5.
Yeah.
You kind of leave. We did a little trick where we dig down.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Come a little lower.
Tell you what you do, you have an email address?
Yes.
Okay, why don't you email me your email address, and then
Okay.
what I'll do is then I'll get a hold of the company, whatever, and that stuff, and then I can email you that company name,
Okay.
okay, and that stuff, and then you can get on their website. I'm sure they'll have a website and that stuff, so at least you can do it that way. So at least, just so, you can go right on, my email is parkandrec@cityofcasson.com, pretty simple. You know,
Okay.
you can get on the City of Castleton's website, and it'll click you to the Park and Rec. And then
Gotcha.
send me you send me something, then I got your email address, and then I can get you the information of that company,
Okay,
okay?
awesome, awesome. All right, perfect.
Sounds good.
I know-
All right.
I'm not here to butt into anything else.
Okay.
That's all I wanted, so.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Thank you for hearing me out, I'll send you an email.
Okay, sounds good,
Yeah.
okay.
It's always nice when somebody comes in, they're interested in improving something.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Always
Yes.
nice.
I was a little hellion, but I was always motivated, so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hyper, I'm going home right now and lift some weights. I was like, I don't know if I wanna go, that's gonna cut into my, my workout stuff. Yeah, man,
Oh,
I'm
good.
staying here, this is our city, I want people to come and be like, hey, that's a nice skate park. That's a Mickey Mouse skate park,
Yeah.
I could pee over that type of, and I don't like to hear that about my town. Like, we got resources, the city's set up good, I think we got good water here, so we're probably staying for a little bit. So, 57 kind of horse shit is, I don't know, I've been wanting to call them too, and be like, what's going on here, like, we're just plowing your road out of here every year now, it looks like Dodge Center. Yeah, so thanks for saying thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys have a good night, thank you.
See you later.
Yep, see ya.
He is an exciting person.
That takes a lot off you when somebody will be able to come with their ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
that is
exactly what we need from the public, so that's wonderful.
And just to touch on him before, whatever.
I remember him.
Yep, I remember him.
I do.
really, truly do.
Yep, I do
As
too.
a kid?
I remember his
Yes,
group.
when he was smaller, when he was
Yep.
group, and they came.
Yep, I remember the dirt piles we
Yep,
talked
yes, we
about,
did.
yep.
Yep, so.
Good for him, and he's still like this.
Yeah.
That's awesome, good for him.
Great.
Okay, down to the Boulevard Tree Planting Program.
Okay. I received the updated price list from the Boulevard Trees from the Treehouse, our contractor that we've always used in recent years. Basically, the cost of the trees only went up about $5 a tree, so that's a good thing. It wasn't a real price hike, I think we had a pretty good price hike last year, so the price ain't too bad. Deadline this year to order the trees will be March 31st. I usually wait to the end of the end of March. Todd, from the Treehouse, they'll plant the trees. He's thinking early May. Also, just to let you guys know, it's not really based on the tree program Boulevard, but I did receive notice from Arbor Day Foundation in Nebraska that we were selected again for Tree City USA, our 42nd consecutive year. I got that application sent in November, and usually in February they give us notice, so the mayor will get a letter from the Arbor Day Foundation, and so now we'll be Tree City again for another year, whatever. Just to kind of touch that. Any questions on the Boulevard tree planting, anything like that?
Are they gonna do 57 next year? I mean, this year?
I hope tentatively, Ryan probably could touch more on that, but...
Is that gonna affect a lot of the trees? I assume that's gonna affect a lot of the trees.
I got your answer on that, because I asked Tim on that. Every tree that's in between the sidewalk and the curb will be removed
Okay,
on 57.
all right.
Yep, so from Main Street all the way up to, Houston's. So everything that is in the boulevard, what's considered boulevard, will be gone. Anything back of the sidewalk will be kept,
Okay,
okay?
all right, good, thanks.
Are they taking the sidewalk out to
They're gonna
widen?
replace the sidewalk, I know they are for sure, that's the program, whatever and that stuff, but, some of the trees that are behind the sidewalk are far enough from the sidewalk, and if one is too close and they do some damage to the roots, then they're gonna have to make a decision on what they wanna do with that tree, because if you do destroy the main taproot or something like that, that tree's not gonna live too much longer after it's there, so, yeah.
I think they have to make the sidewalks ADA compliant, so they're gonna be wider.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you.
okay, down to Aquatic Center, employee update.
Yeah, a couple things here. We'll go through the employee update and then the MyRec software. First of all, I did conduct the interviews during Christmas break. I did 21 interviews for new employees, and then I interviewed 7 employees that have previously worked at the pool for 3 assistant manager positions. Abby Root is going to be our new manager. She is gonna replace Josh. She is somebody that I really wanted to recruit to do it because she's been here probably 8, 9 years. And she's on the ball and she does a great job, and she actually is a school teacher, and she agreed to do it this year and help me out to get things back going again. After me and her went through all the applications and the interview process, we did pick our 4 assistant managers. I had one supervisor manager coming back from last year, and she was very, 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 very good. Her name is Melissa Selden. She'll be one. Another one would be Mitchell Nelson, Julia Christensen, and Rachel Schultz. And them would be the 4 that we picked out of the 7. The other 3, they could have been managers too. I mean, everybody interviewed real well, and it's so hard to know that the kids that, they want the position and they're qualified to do the position, and it's hard to just to sit down and say, well, I can only do 4 out of the 7, it is a tough deal. So me and Abby did figure it out, and that's kind of where we came up with. We are going to have a total of 58 employees at the pool. So we got our numbers up, which is good. That's about normal. We usually hire around 60. We have, which is really nice, we're going to have 9 WSIs on staff, including Abby. Last year, we only had, I think, a total of 4 or 5, and then 2 of them actually ended up working jobs and couldn't even do lessons, so we had 3 only WSIs. So this year, I called up Owatonna this winter. I called up the Owatonna Park and Rec director, and she talked to her instructor, and we set up a class for the kids from Casson to go over and take the class. It was the last part of January, and 7 of them went over and did the class and got certified. So that was really good. So now we're going to have plenty of WSIs on staff to do our lessons, so that's a good thing. And they will, of course, go through the year. They'll get reimbursed at the end of the year for working. So just to let you know on that. We have 27 lifeguards, and then 20 concession admission people. Pretty much normal, kind of what we've done before. There was 4 or 5 applications that did not receive a job offer. I did mail letters out to them. So everybody has received notification if they're working. The official letter will come out the first part of April, where Jan puts in all the information about our meeting in May, about our MMUA safety class, with the right to know stuff that the kids have to have, and then their wages, and then they have to have all their vacations and their camps and their all that stuff at that meeting in May, which will be underneath the picnic shelter. I think it's actually going to be May 21st. And then Abby will be able then to get the scheduling going and then put it all together. And we are going back to a monthly schedule, just to let everybody know. We used to do a 2-week, and that was kind of tough because some of the kids, whatever, just couldn't be there. So now all the kids are going to know, the workers are going to know a month in advance when they're going to be working. So hopefully that'll go a lot better. So just to let you know.
So the ones that you didn't pick, you're gonna send letters to and everything. If you have a few of these that something comes up and they can't do it, are you gonna ask them again, or are you just gonna?
And that's a possibility.
Okay.
We've never done that before, but that's always been that possibility, and that's where I would probably ask Abby that, hey, are we shorthanded? Do we need another person to replace? Whatever. And also in the letters that I did send back to them, I wrote a really nice letter and told them also that, say, thank you for applying, for the position, whatever. Our positions are filled, but, please, we do accept applications again by starting in November of 2022. Please apply, reapply. And I said we will go through another interview process, and, and what I normally have done with the ones that I haven't hired, I keep a little track of it. I make a mark. So if they come back and they reapply and there's open positions, I try to get them in to be at least an employee. If they want to really show that they want to try to reapply the second year, I try to make sure that they can get hired. So I know which ones that that didn't get jobs, and actually this year there was 2 of them out of all the people that didn't get hired this year. but the two that did apply, they didn't apply for concessions, they applied for lifeguards, and that's what I really want anyway, so they knew that if they applied for lifeguards, that more likely they're gonna work.
Sure.
So that's kinda how it goes, and so, but, then as far as the MyRec software program,
I was just gonna say, do we have to do a motion for
yeah,
the
we should.
managers?
Probably we should, because they are gonna be, you know, before the season starts, they are gonna be kinda involved of learning the new software program. We are gonna have to have them, and Abby's gonna kinda be working with them to kinda get acquainted with all that stuff, so we should do that now.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll need to make a motion, to hire Abby Root as the manager, and Mitchell Nelson, Julia Christensen, Rachel Schultz, Melissa Seljan as assistant managers for the summer of 2022 at the Casson Aquatic Center. So do we have a motion?
Oh, I'll make a motion.
I'll
Right.
second it.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion carried.
Ronnie had two quick questions.
Yep.
Were any of the applicants excited about the pay increase? Did they mention that at all?
Oh, yeah.
Was
That's huge.
I thought that was hopefully a driving point to keep
Yes.
lifeguards and bring new lifeguards in, the WSIs, maybe that helped. My second question was, I had someone from town that formerly had a child as a lifeguard, and they had a question about swimsuits and uniforms. Do the kids pay for those? Okay.
Yep, it used to be that the city would reimburse half cost for the swimsuit. And, Jan, how long ago? Was it probably 7, 8 years ago, they decided not to do that? And what we did is that we set up an online store where the kids will know to go to that online. And actually, this year, it is actually gonna stay in town. It's gonna go to Casson Laser Graphics for John Hanson. And they'll be able to get in and order their T-shirts, or they'll order their, their sweatpants, whatever, hoodies, whatever. It'll come right from John. They'll have an online set up, so they will know that. As far as the swimsuit, I don't know if it's going through John with that, but I'm sure Abby will have a lifeguard swimsuit area where the suit's gotta be one piece, gotta be red, and it'd be nice to have lifeguard print on it.
I asked that because do some of the other departments within our city, even within Park and Rec, do they have to pay for their own uniforms as well?
As far as the city employees, full-time, whatever, we get a clothing allowance.
Okay.
Yep, it's $350, yep.
I didn't know if there was...
Sorry, maybe, I don't mean to interrupt, Ryan, but I'm wondering if then the questions are coming besides full-time employees, do you have seasonal maintenance staff that you hire
No.
as well? No, so you don't have, the only seasonal staff you have are at the
Aquatic Center.
Okay.
Yep, we used to have mowers, you know,
Yeah,
and the city would offer, as far as a safety boot allowance for the kids to go get boots, because they're dealing with mowing and weed whipping, but we don't hire them no more. Everything is full-time. And we do even have a boot allowance as far as the full-time employees.
We had an issue with, was it the Minnesota tax people, or somebody came in here and did an audit of us and basically said if it's clothing they can wear, I mean, we used to get some T-shirts and stuff at the city that we could wear on casual day. We have to pay for them ourselves now, too. So,
They were just, someone had asked if that was something we'd looked into, and I said I'd ask because I didn't know the policy, so that's her. Yep, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, so then we'll go into the software program. The company MyRec software program, it's out of a company out of Vermont, has built our website now for our aquatic center. Today, we actually had our Zoom meeting with Hannah. That's our coordinator, whatever, and she went through, I had Abby here, and we had Amy at front, and Jan, and Nancy, and myself, and we went through kind of the site build of what she put together. That's all the information that Nancy gave her, and all the stuff that I did, and sent that to her, and they had to build the site. And so it really looked really nice. Now we're to the point where we're gonna set up, I think, 3 trainings, right, Jan? At 90 minutes, a training, and then she'll go through, with Jan and Nancy and Abby of making sure that everything is, train them how to download stuff or to put stuff on and get everything ready to go. We are hoping, and our goal is to have our online registration for the Aquatic Center available March 9th. That's our goal, where people can get on and start registering for programs, swim lessons, memberships, and whatever. Also, too, we also discussed, too, after we talked to Hannah today about, setting up some nights where there'll be picture nights, because we are gonna have the pictures for sure on this new program related to each account. Just a little bit about the MyRec is that everybody that is going to use that facility will have an account number. I'm talking a 4-year-old's gonna have an account number, or a 5-year-old, okay? Reason why is that is because if he does come, or they come, or whatever, and I don't know, a 5-year-old's gonna come up to the concession stand, but we wanna keep track of everybody in the family, and we wanna make sure they all have an account number. The account number is gonna be run basically the same what the school system does for their lunch thing. You, as a parent, would put money into the account, and they'll be able to use that for concessions areas and stuff like that. So there will be no cash handling, no cash at the pool at all.
Cool.
Also, as far as coming in to the facility, if you come out of town and you are just coming to go to the pool one day, you can come up there and still use a debit or credit card, whatever. We'll have that set up where they can come in and pay off the credit card to come in and use the facility. So that's a good thing. If you set up your account and you put money in there, you could still use that account money to come in and use your daily fees and, and stuff like that. But once the money runs out of your account, it'll kick it out and say you don't have enough funds, of course, So it's going to be up to the parents to make sure that the accounts are all full. So it's going to be a good program. I think it's going to be more efficient, and it's going to be nice for our employees, our staff, to be able to look at things. It's going to be nice for Jan. It's going to be nice for Nancy to do the monthly printouts and stuff like that, and it's going to be pretty cool. So, and by the way, just to let you know on price on that, they're basing that price of our software every year for how much money that we take in every year at the pool, and I think I mentioned that. So they actually just charged us. We already paid the bill, whatever. We went off last year's $200 and some thousand what we took in. So we're going to pay, I can't remember the exact money, but it was like $4,600 or something like that for the entire use of the software for the 3 months. Okay?
Wow.
So that's
Pretty reasonable.
And they got a person on staff at any time, at certain hours during the day, from 6 or 8 to 6 or whatever, that if any questions on anything, our staff can get a hold of them, and they will talk to an actual person, they said today, and help you through whatever. So anyway, it's a nice deal.
So does it keep track of the staff as well?
Yeah,
Like their hours and all that? I mean,
they-
it's like from start to finish.
This program won't do that.
Oh,
We talked
okay.
about that and that stuff, but what we did is that we ordered that third extra computer. We still got the old, what is it called? Max Solutions. So kids will be able to go into that new computer, do their timesheets, and then just print them off or do whatever. So that
Cool.
will be there.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
So,
Very nice.
With the change in hours, at some point, could we have a discussion again about food vendors at North Park? It seems like if we're gonna have evening swim lessons, parents may be interested in having some type of a food source there for them outside of the concession stands, because we're gonna have the concessions open during those times.
for swim lessons, the concessions will not be open.
So if we're having evening concessions, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to have that discussion of allowing vendors to come in and
Yeah,
bring-
and that's fine, yeah, whatever we want to do, because we did talk about that this winter, and we were going to bring it back up,
Yeah, and I think it was gonna be referred back to the council, because that was kind of from a zoning standpoint. Did that ever get addressed with the council?
We went based on what Park Board had suggested.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's no problem. We can sure discuss that and bring that back up and try to get that all detailed out and try to get that info out to the food vendors that wanna do that, for
Mhm.
sure. You know, like I say, there's, on lesson nights, you know, if you look at the scale here on lesson nights, we have lessons, June 13th through the 17th, June 27th through July 1st, July 11th through the 15th, and July 25th through the 29th. Them where you come up, we will not have the concessions open. So them weeks, you know, them continuous weeks, we won't have that. But as far as open swim goes, when we don't have lessons weeks, open swim will be on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Okay, so the concessions will be open on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays nights. And then also, for the parent-taught lap swim, probably will have no concession open, because it's just lap people swimming the laps and the parents bringing the small little kids. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, it won't be open, you know, during non-lesson weeks. So Tuesdays and Thursdays will probably be a big night for food vendors. You know, if they want to do that, there won't be no concessions at the pool at night in the evening, okay? So
And
that's
Thursday
something-
night they play ball too,
and
right?
Thursday night they play ball.
So that would be a prime time, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that is something that, like
Yeah.
you say, yeah, we can bring that back up and
Mhm.
get it out there, so, okay?
Right.
Okay, so, any questions else on the pool or the program, the software program, anything like that, employees? I will bring the list, of the employees and recommend that to the park board probably next month, in March, for the remaining, the lifeguards and the WSIs and stuff like that, so then you guys can recommend and improve it on your end, and then the main letter and the approval from the council will happen, and then we'll send the letters out in April, okay?
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, down to the winter tree maintenance.
Yeah, I always kind of like to keep you guys informed of how the maintenance is going. Number one, before I get into that, EAB is really doing a damage to a lot of our trees. If you go by and see some of them ash trees and you see that some of the bark is coming off, it's the woodpeckers picking the larvae out of the trees, and a lot of them. I mean, I've been noticing it's more and more and more. So we've had the bug here for 6 years, and they said within the period of 5 to 8 years, it's going to do major damage, and them trees are going to start to really turn into a hazard. So I just want to let you know, if you see some of them trees, or if a neighbor or one of your friends says, "Jeepers, man, I have a tree in there and I'm losing bark on it," it's more than likely the woodpeckers are in there trying to get the larvae, and you know, that means that the bug is already in your tree, okay? So just to let you know on that part. But the Park Street workers, we have been busy doing trees. We had 45 on the list to remove, and we had another, I think, 15 on trimming. We got all of the trimming done that we needed to get done. Of course, there's other places in town that I know that sometimes hits the sweeper or something like that, and we try to get in there and kind of keep track of them addresses, and we're kind of picking away on them little things. But as far as the trimming, everything's kind of trimmed up what we needed to do that people called in. Removals, we got 30 of them removed out of 45, so we got around 15 left, and we got till about hopefully the end of March, or, you know, till it starts unthawing where we do damage or whatever. But so we've done a really pretty good job on that. As far as the ash trees left to take down, which will start back up again in November, we're going to be looking at maybe 40 left out of the 245 on the boulevard. So our program is what way we wanted to do. We knew it would probably take us close, you know, to maybe, you know, 6 to 8 years to get all them boulevard trees done at maybe 30 or 40 a year. But we're in pretty good shape. I think we're in good shape. Situation is what I must want to, and I would just let you guys know about this, is that the trees in the backyards will be not a problem, but they'll be a concern on people's private property. That's where when we set that emergency or that EAB program, it's online, our management program. What it states and how it states is that the city has the right to come into your backyard and inspect it and declare it a hazardous tree. And just remember that you as the board, you guys are the ones that are kind of the head of the whole thing. You know, I'm just out there implementing the things, you know. But anyway, what'll happen if that, and what we'll do is that whoever takes over my position, hopefully, They'll go out, they'll assess the situation in the yard, because I will guarantee you this, there's neighbors that are gonna be calling the city about them. Because they're gonna be looking at them dead trees, and they're gonna say, my gosh, that tree's dead, and it's terrible. And there is not a worse tree as being brittle and dangerous, once it dries out, than an ash tree. Very dangerous. So, as far as it's really brittle. But as far as doing that, the city will go in there, and you'll either give, it's kind of up to you guys what you guys want to do. I can't remember how I said if I gave a 30-day or a 60-day notice to the homeowner to contact or try to get that tree removed, because it will be their situation to remove that tree on their private property. If they don't, say within 30 or 60 days, the city has the right to hire a contractor to go into the backyard and remove that tree. If the homeowner will have to pay for that tree to be removed. If they do not pay the city, or the contractor, okay, the city will pay the contractor, and then the city will assess it on their taxes. So that's kind of how it will probably go. And as far as how many ash trees I think in town, it could probably be about the same as what we did in the boulevard. There's got to be at least maybe 200 to 300 ash trees in people's yards, in the backyards. It's just to let you guys know in the future what's happening with the EAB, okay? So that'll be something that needs to be always looked at and concerned. And the problem is with it, now we're going to have 200 trees in the backyards. Our 8 years is going to be up, and a lot of them are going to go bing, bing, bing. They're going to be dead, and they're going to be really hazardous, quick-like, So it's just something to think about, okay? So, just want to let you know.
Can I ask a question on that, Ron, real quick? So, I know you said you're transitioning. Have you received those calls where you've had to go in backyards and inspect now?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay.
Not yet, no, but I have received a few calls, not very many, maybe 3 calls about a neighbor calling about, I have a neighbor's tree, and it's on the boulevard, and the bark is starting to fall off. What's that? Is there a bug or a disease, or, and then I go out and I look, and then I call them back and say, well, that's got EAB, that's an ash tree. It's on our list, oh, okay, But as far as someone in the backyard yet, no. Nope, haven't seen it.
So the last question, are you a tree inspector?
Yes.
Do you have other staff?
Yes.
Okay. I was
Yep.
just wondering with you, if all of a sudden,
Yep.
depending on your replacement, if...
As far as dealing with the public, I don't know how the other guys are gonna
Yeah.
deal with the public, but...
But you have other people on staff that are
tree
certified?
inspectors. Yep, they're through the Department of
Yep.
Ag, and we gotta have a 6-hour continuing ed, whatever, and that stuff on that,
Yep.
and that stuff. I think there's Corey, there's Steve, and then now the new guys, there's 2 of them, Mike Bolster and even Ben Langen, are gonna go and get their tree certification, tree inspector here, coming up here now in this summer. So we'll have at least 4 people, so that's a good thing.
So do you have, when they go do this, do you have like a checklist or something that you go in the yard, and the owner says, well, how do I know? And you just get with them and you say, well, okay, A, the bark is falling off, B,
Yep.
it's getting old.
Yep. There is kind of a little checklist as far as, first of all, a lot of people don't know what even an ash tree looks like.
Right.
See, that's the problem, There might be people that are in the backyard thinking, oh, that's not an ash tree, that's a butternut, or something like that, what's going on, So basically, if a neighbor, I'm more than likely are gonna be a neighbor's gonna call about it, because they're gonna see it more dead than maybe the homeowner, or the homeowner does see it and say, could you come and look at my tree, it's dying, what's wrong with it? So if somebody goes back in there and says, oh, no, that's an ash tree, you have EAB, well, how do you know it's an ash tree? Well, they can show them a picture or say, that's an ash tree, this is the way it is. Well, how do you know it's got the bug? Well, first of all, the bug starts up in the crown, works all the way down to the trunk, sucks the moisture out of it, and how can you tell it's done that? Well, look at the woodpecker damage. It's called, they start peeling the bark off with their beaks and it starts falling, or you get more weeds, taller weeds and stuff that grow it on the base because it's the nutrients. You'll start seeing weeds on the base of the tree and the trunk, and it's very easy to detect. Very easy to detect. Now, could you say maybe 5 years ago? Nope, because a lot of the leaves are on there, and you're thinking, God, the tree looks good yet. you know? Unless you are an arborist and you gotta climb up into the top of that crown, whatever, or top of that tree to
Mhm.
pull a piece of bark back and see if you got the girdling, you know, cavities where the
Cavities,
larva
yeah.
goes, that'd be the only way to do it. But you will, and I do know this, and like I said before, me and Charlie, I went around, oh yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of trees. A lot of trees that are already, the bark is already being peeled, so, okay. Okay, any more questions?
All right, movie in the park?
And I'm gonna have Jan touch on this because she kinda told me this about the other day, but go ahead, Jan.
The festival and the park committee is planning to do a movie on that Friday night again. And if we can get the rights and everything, they're planning to do Sing 2.
Oh,
So
nice.
they asked if the park board would wanna sponsor one like sometime in July or sometime in that month before and do Sing 1, just to kinda get people in the groove. So I'd asked Ronnie, and he said we do have some funds available. So I just kinda wanted to get your opinion. I have to call that company, make sure we can
Do it.
do that. I don't know, if Sing a Disney movie, I don't think it is, so we might not have any restrictions on that.
Right.
So, I know Kurt isn't showing them anymore, but last year, the festival committee found somebody that had equipment and,
Yeah.
you know, they let us use it, and it was very reasonable, so I don't think that'll be an issue. We can do the same thing,
Mhm.
so.
If the money's there, go for it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't have a problem with
I like the
it.
idea.
It'd be a lot easier than trying to find sponsors.
Right.
Yeah.
So would you contact her then?
Yeah, yep.
And it won't be Kirk. You know, Kirk's out of this stuff. I don't think he's doing it anymore.
Right,
is he?
last year,
Albright?
he never got back to me, and finally, it was long after the summer, he said, well, I don't even have my
Equipment
Okay.
anymore.
Thanks for getting back to me, but I know they found somebody, I think it was in Wisconsin, and they actually let them leave the equipment, and then as long as somebody, you know, packed it up and put it away again, they just come and get it. So it wasn't terribly expensive, so.
Good.
All right. Down to old business, Stonewall funding, Veterans Memorial Park.
Yep, I wanted to kind of touch base with the funding part of it, whatever, and number one, thank you, Janet, for getting the funding and that stuff back into City Hall. I really appreciate it. Fabulous job, too. $37,660, a lot of money. That's
That is.
awesome. Awesome, very good.
Wonderful.
Thank
It's
you
supposed
so
to have been more, but,
Yeah.
you
No,
know,
it's still,
people
that's
pledge
awesome.
and then you don't get it, so.
Right,
Yep.
right.
So, what happened is that we did receive our legacy grant funding. That came to $29,100. That came in. And then the money that Janet brought in, through the community and care and whatever was $37,660.70. So we had a total of $66,760.70 to go towards the project, which was really
Good.
fabulous. Breakdown of the expenses, I want to give you guys kind of a breakdown as of today, okay? John Digley is pretty much totally paid in full for his material and labor. That actually, his bid came in at $49,517, and that's what we paid him for the wall of doing that. The extra expense that I wish that John would have had on his bid was for the lodging, okay? We ended up spending $3,589.70 for his lodging for the 2-3 weeks that he was here, okay? Stone by Stone, they gave us a bid of $16,755.50 for the total renovation of the sidewalk, the curb and the gutter, fixing and pouring cement behind the wall because of the acid, remember with the grass, tearing things out and stuff like that. And as far as what Stone by Stone did last fall, is all he did was take out the sidewalk in front of the main structure and then poured a little pad there so at least the bricks could be, you know, be placed in there. That came to $4,122. So as of today, right now, including the lodging with John, we've spent $57,228.96. Okay? That leaves us with a balance of $9,531.74. Well, work yet to be done first of all, John contacted me. He is gonna do an inspection, like I said before, of the wall and repair any cracks or any blemishes that he missed this spring at no charge. So he's coming back up to make sure that everything on his end is completed, okay? Stone by stone, still, number one, has to remove the curb and gutter, because we didn't want to do that through the winter. You know, he could have did it late fall, got to be in November, and we didn't. He needs to replace the new sidewalk in front of the wall, plus the curb and gutter. There's two panels that was in the bid that has to be removed and replaced in front of the wall, in front of the picnic shelter, that was cracked, and he's gonna pull them out and re-pour new cement there. And then, he's gonna pour the new cement that has to go to the backside of both of the monuments behind the main structure. Like I said, about 6 inches away from it, so we keep the grass and everything away from it. So he's still got that. So really, when it all comes down to it, he's gonna have at least another $12,633 yet of work to be done. Okay? That leaves us with a balance of $3,101.26, which actually is the lodging of John.
Right.
You know, so with Sheldon's work and John's work, everything would have been pretty much right on. Okay, it's just that the lodging part was the one that kinda took us by surprise. Okay? So that, as far as the funding, that is basically what we have left to do, what we have, you know, what's gonna happen, you know, so, and I know we talked about a sign, you know, I mean, I don't know where that'll be, or how that's gonna happen, or what we wanna do yet, or who we need to contact. I think that'll probably be more of another discussion of how we wanna do that, and when we wanna do that, or, you know, or something
Yeah.
like that.
I've contacted, Harmony. They have those signs down there, and they told me where they get theirs from. We heard where Manorville got theirs from. I talked to the Legion, but I would not do what they did. They just had, the local company make the outline, and then they had the laser graphics do the sign, which is okay. Then they put a piece of plexiglass on top and caulked around it. It's like, no, that's not good enough. You want something that's gonna be completely sealed in there if you're gonna have this done. So,
So, yeah, I mean, you know, I hate to, you know, throw it all on somebody else, whatever, and that stuff, but, you know, I know the sign, like, the sign that was put up at the old water tower, to me, that would be the picture-perfect sign.
that's not what we would like,
No.
because we would like a historical sign to...
That's what it is, that's an historical
Yeah,
sign.
yeah, I know, but it's not on the historical register, and it can't be. We've checked into that one, too. But we would like a sign with pictures and saying how many people worked on the wall, what they got paid, what it looked like in the beginning when they first built that wall and stuff. That's what that's where we were talking about, an informational sign, not just that black one.
So you say a company in Harmony does that?
Yeah, well, I talked to Harmony, and they told me where they got theirs.
Oh.
And then somebody talked to Manorville, and they know where they got theirs.
Oh.
And I think there was a big difference in prices. You know, I think somebody said Harmony's was 10,000 and Manorville's was 3 or something. I don't know.
Huge difference.
I don't know. I didn't look into them. But, you know, I know Manorville said that they got grants for it, for some of their signs, so, I don't know. I haven't done anything, just, you know, somebody had mentioned it and stuff like that, and so, I've done that much. Just found out where they got them from.
Well, like I said, our big thing is this spring, get this all taken care of. And just to let you guys know, and I probably shouldn't even say this, but Sheldon, you know, had a quadruple bypass. He had heart problems this winter, and he had major surgery done from Stone by Stone. He's back now. He's feeling a lot better. It took him by surprise, but he is going to get back. His business is going to get going back, whatever, and he said, Alec, he'll get a hold of me here now, sometime here in early March, and we'll get something set up to get things done and get it going. I don't wanna let this go till the end of summer or before festival. I want this to get done as soon as we possibly can get done, so we can get that together and get it done with, you know. 'Cause then what we still need to do is that we still need to seal coat it. You know, and we'll do that as far as the city workers. We'll go buy the seal coat for it. John already gave me the thing where we can get it and what we need to do, and then we'll get up there and we'll seal coat everything. We just can't seal coat, he said, the peaks, and we can't seal coat the benches. They gotta stay the way they are. But he said everything else, all the stone, you know, the limestone can all be sealed. And that has to be done pretty much every 3 to 5 years, you know, to preserve it as much as we can. So, but anyway, I just wanted to give you the update and thank Janet for bringing the money in and doing what she did on that part of raising funds, and you know, that was huge. That was very huge.
I had help, it wasn't just me,
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
I had
So-
lots of help,
Yeah. So let them know, okay?
I will.
Okay.
So Ronnie, I'm gonna assume that the extra money, this extra 3,600, the city's gonna have to pay
Yeah,
that
we'll
out.
probably end up having to, you know, somewhere, somehow find that in the budget somewhere to cover the cost, at least get everything all said and done and wrapped up and be done that way. Signage, that'll probably be another story. I don't know how that's all gonna be handled, what we'll do, or how we're gonna do it, or whatever, you know, that'd be something where, you know, I'll have to sit down, maybe talk to Tim, and then Tim maybe have to bring it back to the park board and we have to maybe go through the council part of it again and see what we need to do on that part, but at least we can get the wall and get all that stuff taken care of.
Great.
That's the main thing, so, okay.
All right, correspondence. So, I actually have something. Ronnie, you're retiring like in November, right?
Yep.
So, my question is, especially 'cause Ronnie comes with all the information, you know, is the city thinking about any replacements for Ronnie? Are, like, they gonna hire within? You know, and for, my concern is the knowledge he has, somebody needs to hang out with Ronnie for, I think, at least a couple months so that it can run smoothly. You know, I don't know if, has the city talked about anything, Ryan?
I have not heard anything
No.
at council, no. I can bring it up at our next council meeting. We have one next Wednesday.
Okay.
We also have our retreat on the 5th, so maybe I could bring that up then too.
Yeah, definitely, 'cause that's some big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it's gonna be a combination of people that Ronnie works with already, I don't know, but it's a big position from what I see anyway, so.
Yeah, like I say, I don't know on my end, what the city is, you know, has decided either. I'm kinda like where Ryan's at too and that stuff, but it's me personally, whatever, I'll just make a short little comment. I would really like to see someone here at least 30 days.
Oh, yeah,
before I
definitely.
leave. That way I can at least, you know, I went the extra mile and I've filled out pretty much a daily log
I agree, longer.
of what I do every day, and they kinda have an idea for the whole year, what time of the year would I do what, so that'll help, you know?
And you've done this long enough where you've maybe seen people around in other cities that have been in your position retire. Have you talked to any of them, and how long did they have as someone as an apprentice, or watching you prior to taking over that role?
Right. And I think that kind of varies, you know, I mean, I've got a lot of good friends in the park and rec, and dealt with a lot of
Yes.
good people, you know, over the years and stuff, and I will honestly tell you this, I know that most of them have tried to hire, you know, someone before that person leaves, especially if you wear a lot of hats, which this position, it does require to, you know,
A
between
lot.
the cemetery, between, you know, the aquatic center, between the tree program, between the softball program, between the parks, the budget, who's gonna do what project, what's gonna come about, where we need to look at, come back here to the park board, you know, there is a lot of things that are involved into it, you know, and, But at me, on a personal note, I really would feel good that if the council would make a decision, to maybe have someone here a little bit of time before I leave. I
Absolutely.
think that would be a good transition, and that's entirely up to the council. I mean, they can do what they want to do, you know, and that stuff, but personally, just on my personal thing, I would like to at least get some time in where I show some of the things of what I've done and what we've done and how we do it, and eventually if someone comes in, takes over my position, they're eventually gonna go off in their own way and do whatever they wanted, you know, how they think it's gonna be done. But
Right.
at least they have a starting point,
Yes, they have a knowledge from A to Z.
you know.
Okay, this is what Ronnie did, this is da-da-da-da-da,
Yeah.
yes.
You know, so,
And they may do it differently, but at least they know everything.
yeah, if something.
And they have to do the belly flop contest.
Right, right. But no, I
Got
just...
that, have you?
No.
But no, I just had to bring that up because, yeah, without you, Ronnie, I
We'll be
mean,
here
the park wouldn't function,
quick. Yeah.
so
Well, I
there's a
appreciate-
lot to it, so,
Appreciate your comment.
yeah, absolutely.
I know it's a while off, but it'll be here before you even think
Yeah.
about it.
That's the thing, is it's only 8 months away.
Yeah, that goes
And
pretty quick.
the
Gave them
hiring
2
process,
years' notice, and we're still sitting here not knowing anything.
not doing anything, and the hiring process is crucial. And, yeah, and if it's gonna be a combination of people, those combination have to get together and think the same way at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And work well with each other to make it happen. So, nope, I just wanted to ask.
Bring it up.
Yep,
Okay.
just wanted to bring it up.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Anybody have anything else? The, next meeting then will be on, March 15th.
Yep.
All right. So, if there's nothing else, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.